Don't hold on so tight. It's real if it's right. Ego wants to identify. Freedom makes a better I. Can't control the timeline. Look into your nighttime. Possessive love is a crime to the body, soul, and the mind. Don't define the edges. Let life be expressive. Change up your methods and live in this second. Detachment. Detachment is hard. Love really pairs up with attachment a lot, but learning how to let go actually allows you to hold more. But our ego wants to think that if you hold on, then that's what you have. But actually, by releasing, you actually can have more because you're open and you're letting everything be as free as possible and coming to you and being with you out of its own free will and freedom and flow instead of grip and attachment and possessiveness. Hi lovers, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to do a reading on what do you need to detach from. Right now it is about to be New Year's and I've got trains going on, I've got fireworks and gunshots in the air, I've got little kids screaming around my house, but we are going to detach from any kind of perfectionism and silence that I thought I was going to get and just live in this moment. So welcome, and I just want to let you know that this channel is all about love, wisdom, clarity, joy, expansion, expression, all of those good things. And I'm going to set a blessing, I'm going to do intuitive messages, I'm going to read you some cards, and that's about it. I do this for the love of it. I do this for the fun of it. I do this because I feel called to, and I believe that when you get down to the smallest thing, it's all wavelengths, and I believe that you're a match to whatever frequency that you put out, what you're drawn to is there for a reason, and that your frequency is very powerful, and you can learn a lot from what you're drawn to. And yeah, so I'm going to show you the crystals. We have 5 crystals today, and you just pick what you're drawn to, and then I will give the messages to you that go with those, okay? Thank you so much for being here. I love doing this, and I'm so thankful that you're here. I hope you can feel that I'm just so thankful to be doing this, and that we can exchange energies and divinity and all that good stuff. So, without further ado, I'm going to do a little blessing and we'll get right into it. Dear Divine Supreme Mother and Father, Divine Cosmic Mother, Mother Gaia, my angels, ancestors, my guides, my fairies, my angels, my loved ones, my wise ones, my ascended masters, all in spirits that are about love and wisdom and peace and joy. Come and please bless this reading, bless my viewers, my followers, my subscribers, bless me and my cards, my messages, bless my pen, my words, and my actions, bless our energy, bless this time, bless this space, and let gratitude and love and peace and wisdom flow through us. Thank you so much. Ashe, 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 so mote it be, and so it is, amen, all of those things, and let's just get started, okay? Okay. Today we are going to start with the first pile, which is this orange selenite pyramid. This is pile number 1, the orange selenite pyramid. Okay. Pile number 2 is this piece of Amethyst Geode. Pile number 3 is this clear quartz. Okay. Pile number 4 is this rose quartz. Kind of like a heart. pile number 5, I think it's black tourmaline. It could be obsidian, but yeah, either way. This black piece. Okay, so once again we have pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3, pile number 4, and pile number 5. Okay? So take your pick. The timestamps will be down below. And I'm going to get started with pile number 1, the orange Slenite pyramid. As usual, I will do your written intuitive messages and then I'll pull you some cards. Okay, what you need to detach from pile number 1 is that distractions aren't bad, okay? So this idea that you being distracted or you being like irresponsible or not being calculated is bad. You might be being a little too rigid, a little, like I said, a little too calculated, and needing to go more into flow and spontaneity. So if you have any ideas around flow or spontaneity, like being too spontaneous is a bad thing, you may want to detach from it, okay? Also, what I have is that if you are defining your sexuality, if you are putting yourself in a box saying, I am this, like I am straight, I am gay, I'm blah, 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 anything like that with your sexuality, I'm hearing that you want to detach from that because you're putting yourself in a box, you're labeling yourself, and you might just try to be more open and playful. That's really what I'm getting, is that you really need to embrace being a child and detach from being too much of an adult. So play and detach from the idea that play is a bad thing or irresponsible thing or something that is not getting you anywhere, like it's not productive. Because in life, like for one, life isn't just about producing, it's about being. And you may find out that being childlike or playful, even though it doesn't seem like it's actually producing anything, it might actually give you the energy to be the most productive that you could be, because play is the best way to learn, and Einstein says that. And play can introduce us to a lot of wholehearted energy and a lot of just positive energy, and that positive energy might actually help you in your work and in your productivity and stuff. I'm seeing that you need to detach from the idea of how much power you have, and just this whole idea of power and how you like enforce it. Just detach from this idea of like power and maybe thinking of how much you have or compared to other people, whether it's having too little or having a lot of power. I'm just getting this, and usually that's how it is. It's like if we think we have a lot of power, it's almost because our shadow side believes that we don't have a lot of power, so we usually in our ego or in our day-to-day life really kind of enforce that. Whatever it is in life, the thing that we're usually doing a lot of, it's actually because usually our shadow self thinks we don't have a lot of it, if that makes sense. So just the whole ideas around power in general need to be kind of detached from. And that will actually, the paradox of detachment is that it'll actually give you more if you can release the ideas around it. You might want to detach from also the ideas of like how much respect you deserve. Like, I don't know if you're demanding respect from other people or that you have insecurities. Again, usually those go kind of hand in hand, where it's like one part of you thinks that you don't have respect, so then the other part of you kind of really wants to get it from people. So with the power thing, it goes with the respect, and that you want to really detach from these ideas of how much respect and power you need or deserve in life. Like, we don't want to define ourselves too much. And that's again what detachment is, letting go of definitions. And maybe kind of you're thinking that people or yourself are on certain levels and that there's like a hierarchy in life, and there's just really not. We're all a mixed bag of things, and we're all powerful, and we're all, need to be respected and things, but there's no levels to it. So maybe kind of detach from this hierarchy thinking. What you need to detach from is that you either can't trust yourself, or that you can't get your hopes up. So you might deep down have this idea that, that you have to be maybe so responsible because you can't trust yourself to be childlike or to be playful. And that's what you need to detach from, is that your childlike self and your playful self can be trusted, and that you can get your hopes up. They say like a pessimist is just a disappointed optimist. So you might have these more shadow parts of yourself that have been disappointed, and so you put them in a box and you don't let them come out and play because you don't want to be disappointed again. But that's what we need to detach from, because you really need that playful energy to be a wholehearted person. And this could really bring in a lot of good energies for you if you can detach from the idea that you will be disappointed if you're playful, or if you follow your distractions or follow your joy. You need to detach from the idea that your prayers won't be answered, and that people aren't listening, or your angels aren't listening, or that your divinity isn't there. You need to detach from, again, the thinking where you're at, like your current level. Detach from this idea of like where you are in your progress, where you are in your timeline, what level and what position you're in, because it all kind of is ego, how we identify ourselves and where we're putting ourselves, and the status and all those things. It really isn't helping you, and it doesn't help any of us really to rank ourselves like that. If you have this idea that things are off right now, like, oh, just like I'm just off, or you say that often, or you say this right now, like, oh, I've just been off today, or whatever, really detach from this idea or this word, because you're always on. You're not off, you're on. You also need to detach from spreading yourself too thin, and this idea that is like a good thing, and that you just, again, need to be like really responsible, and that any kind of supreme energy that comes up in you where you feel like you're supreme, and maybe you're struggling with not feeling like you're getting the respect or power that you deserve, actually detaching from that idea, I think, will give you more power, or more. It will actually elevate you to get rid of to detach from the idea that you're more elevated than people. That makes sense. The whole thing of detachment, like I said, is like a paradox. So anyway, also, if you have an idea that you have to sedate yourself, whether with like weed or alcohol or something, to have fun, or to be in your childlike energy, or to be vulnerable, or for people to get close to you, or to play, or to be at a party, or anything like that, this is an idea that you really could get good things if you detach from. So again, the idea that you need to have like a substance, or you need to sedate yourself to sleep, to party, to play, anything like that, that is an idea that you would really benefit from detaching from. If you are being a little too grounded, or a little too practical, a little too responsible, it would help for you to actually be a little bit more detached, maybe a little bit more flowy, a little bit more spontaneous, a little more airy, and maybe you kind of like look down on that as something that is, just kind of wrong, or impractical, or not for you, or just unwise, or something like that. It would really do you good to detach from that idea, because you might be being like a little too wise. Like, you need to really embrace your child self, and that your child self actually has a lot of wisdom. But this idea that you need to be such an adult and so wise and so like responsible or supreme, or just like, oh, you always have to be smart about things, is actually not helping you. You have wisdom through and through in every part of your spirit. Your child self, your teenage self, your adult self, your elder self has a certain kind of wisdom in all of it. And if you can embrace all of those energies, you actually will be the smartest. You will be the most wise, the most intuitive. So detaching from this idea that only your adult self has wisdom and that you always need to be super smart and responsible would actually give you more wisdom and more intuition and more power in things. So that's what I have written, and now we will draw some cards. Okay, what does pile 1, this orange calcite pyramid group, need to detach from? Okay. So something about your money where either you're giving too much or you're not giving at all. Something about your ideas of giving money and like what that means for your finances. So either this idea that you think that like if you give that it won't come back to you, and that your generosity either is something bad, or that it won't again be returned, or that being generous is something that is foolish or something like that. Like being too generous is like a bad thing, or that you've been too generous already. Something around generosity you need to detach from, and money and this idea around it. Maybe again, like you think that you've already been too generous, or something around that you need to detach from. So just kind of look about either have you been giving too much or too little, and how do you think about that? Like what do you have feelings around it? Just because detaching from those ideas will actually have money flowing in and out from you, and giving like too much or too little is this idea that the bad around that isn't helping you. This idea that I really think it's almost like you think you've given too much, or you think that your generosity won't be coming back, or you're afraid to be too generous or something, and let go of money. And then I also think that you may have an idea around things not changing, or that you don't have the power to change things, or that maybe things are always changing, but things about change and money and generosity and things, the ideas of this. Again, it's a little hard because life is a paradox, and again, most of the time when you have a negative feeling or a positive feeling about something, the opposite is also true within a different part of ourselves. I don't know if that makes sense. But yeah, this idea around you being able to like alchemize things, and your ideas around money, you need to detach from. Okay, let's maybe get some more clarity. What does this first group need to detach from? Okay, you may be working out really, really hard. Oh, okay, and you might have a lot of shame too, and that might be some of the reasons why you like work out so hard, is some like anxiety and guilt and shame. Your color is orange, so the color that you were crystal that you were drawn to, and that has to do with the sacral chakra, which has to do with your creativity and your sexual power. And didn't I say? Yes, defining your sexuality. So you might have a lot of shame around your sexuality, and maybe trying to put yourself in a box, or maybe trying to ignore certain things that you like around creativity and sexuality, which are again the same kind of energy. And you might be exerting yourself and working out really, really hard and thinking that the way that you work out and exert yourself in work or at the gym or something is a lot of your value, and you need to detach from this idea that you get your value from these certain, like, the way that people view you and the position that you have and the way that you are so responsible and keep up your life and are so working out and working hard. It's actually hindering you. So detaching from this idea that you have to work hard, like really, really hard to get results. And I know that that's what our culture teaches us, but actually being instead of doing is really going to help you. Just focusing on giving yourself love and healing your sexual shame and the things that you like, maybe being more creative, being more free in your sexuality will really help. And just know that some of your problems you can't actually sweat away. You're going to have to sit there and meditate and just take a break. Maybe a vacation or a staycation might really do you some good to kind of meditate and go within and give yourself a break. I really feel this feeling of you just really need to give yourself a break and be open to maybe like the weird things that you like, or just the things that you may be afraid to admit, or that they're just different than what people think you are when it comes, especially comes to sexuality. You might be just different than what actually people assume, or you like different people than people would assume, or that the relationships that you have been in. And detaching from these ideas of what's normal or what you're used to or what people are used to seeing, like how people are used to seeing you in relationships, would do you really good and would be really good for your spirit to just be a little bit more open and to, again, heal maybe some sexual trauma. Okay, what does this pile number 1 need to detach from? Okay. So again, I'm getting this, like, you have like this idea that you need to be supreme, or that you feel like you are supreme, something about power. And I don't mean to trigger you or anything, hopefully not, but because it is kind of a big realization, but it's almost like coming off of a high horse. This is hard, I'm sorry. I hope I'm saying this with love, and it's not like you're just like, fuck this message, I love being where I'm at in my position or whatever. But if I can say it with love, and if you can hear it from me instead of somebody else, maybe I can save you some drama or trauma or whatever. But I got the Emperor, which is I think all of the kings put together is the Emperor. So it's very this like high, very high ranking, very like, look how his head is up high, and just very, very supreme and very like dominant. So we're detaching from this like dominant energy and really like kind of being a fool again, being a child again, and being a beginner would really do you good. So just detaching from this idea like that you know it all, or that you have it all, or that you deserve it all. And again, detaching from these ideas will actually get you more power, get you more respect, get you more things in life. So I'm only saying this because you deserve all of, like if you feel in your heart you deserve these things, actually acting and being in the energy of needing to be supreme and stuff is actually hindering you from getting that respect and power and stuff that you want in life. So so actually detaching from this idea, like this kind of like king, like I'm the boss energy, will actually get you more respect and status. Okay. And just like getting more grounded would really help, okay? Getting more in nature, being more like in hippie energy, being more in childlike energy, being playful, letting people see you be vulnerable, letting people see you be playful they would actually give you more power and more respect. Okay, what does this group need to detach from? Okay, so again, it goes with this exertion thing, like you're moving so fast, you don't actually have to move this fast. You don't actually have to work that hard. You don't have to be super swift and like you don't have to give messages so fast. You don't have to you don't have to be so I want to say like forceful or urgent or direct. You can actually be more like floaty, free-flowing, playful, vague, abstract. Those kind of energies would really help you in detaching from this idea of being like you have to be super sharp and super on it and super just like snap. Like you can actually be more floaty, and it will actually help you manifest faster. It actually will help things come into your life easier. It'll actually get your workplace and your employees or whatever, if you're a boss or something, the people around you to respect you more. It'll actually get people to work more, and so it'll feel super counterintuitive, but that's what I'm getting, okay? What you need to detach from, it's like gripping things too tight and thinking that you need to have control. It's a control thing. Okay. I just know that this could be really hard to hear. But anyway, I'm just going to give a message because you clicked it and you're here for a message. So this idea that you have to be, look how like tight around it is. Like you have all this playful goodness, creative energy, but the snake is so tightly wound, so just wrapped up and holding it, that actually if you let yourself just release the egg, it would actually get to expand and hatch and blossom. But because you're wrapped around it so tightly, it doesn't have the chance to do that. Okay, so you need some freedom, some relaxation, some childlike, playful energy in your life, some more floaty energy to just kind of get knocked off of a high horse, to get out of some supreme energy. And not that you don't deserve that power and respect and everything, it's just not serving you to be attached to that energy. And you'll actually get more respect by showing people your vulnerability and your flowy side, your childlike side. You don't have to be so wise, you don't have to be so practical, you don't have to be so responsible and on it and working so hard and sweating so hard and exerting yourself so much. So just detaching from this idea, you have to work and exert yourself. It'll really help you, and more things will come in for you, more respect, all that good stuff. All right, I'm being redundant now. Much love. Thank you so much for letting me give that message, especially because it might be kind of hard to hear. But I love you. You're amazing. You're still a boss. You're still all of these things. It's just detaching from the energy will really serve you. Okay? I love you. Thank you so much. And I'm going to move on to the next one. Bye-bye. Okay, pile number 2, this purple geode. If you picked this crystal, this is your reading. What you need to detach from is that you need to use logic all the time. You actually need to detach from your current reality. So it's kind of a lot. But yeah, you need to detach from this idea. If you say these 2 phrases, that this is just how I am and this is just how it is. If you say that this is just how it is, and it's kind of like a defeated energy, or this is just how I am, and feel like, oh, well, I can't fix it, or whatever, this is just how I am, this is just how it is, those phrases are not serving you. If you are saying things like, or believing things that you aren't magical, or that you don't have spirit guides, or divinity to talk to, you need to detach from those ideas. If you have an idea that you don't have spiritual powers, or spiritual authority, or spirituality in general, you need to detach from those ideas. Again, just because they're not serving you, okay? When I say you need to detach from it, just because I am seeing that it's not serving you, detaching from these ideas will actually get you a lot of good energies and a lot of good benefits. And in this case, it'll give you your spiritual powers and your spiritual authority, because you need to detach from these ideas because you do have them. You need to detach to this idea that your divinity isn't awakening. Again, your divinity, your spirituality, if you think that you're not being enlightened, or you're not awakening, or your intuition isn't growing, or your soul isn't transforming, it is, and this idea that it isn't is not serving you. So you need to detach from that. If you have ideas that you can't trust your soul, or you can't trust your inner intuition, your inner voice, or that you aren't leveling up in your intuition, you need to detach from that, because you are. If you think that you don't have an inner fire, like your fire has been extinguished, you need to detach from that, because it is not. It is actually growing. You have wholeness within you that really this energy of wholeness wants to come in. So detaching from this any other kind of idea that you are broken, it's just not serving you, this idea, and you're not broken. You are strong. So if you have any ideas around you being weak or not able, you need to detach from those ideas. If you get stuck in analysis paralysis, or you have too many thoughts, or you have this idea that you need to think a lot to get things done, or for things to be right, or that your fears are making you believe that thinking through them is the way, you actually need to detach from that idea, because that is not the way to solve them. You're actually just putting yourself in a state of stagnation by doing that. So I get that the biggest message from you is that you need to be enlightened, or that you are enlightened, and that you need to believe that, and detach from any ideas that you aren't enlightened. You need to also, what's maybe hindering you from thinking these spiritual, or to being in this spiritual state, this enlightened state, this spiritual authority, these spiritual powers coming through, could be this idea around shame or sinfulness. So I know a lot of us grew up in, especially in America, in this Christian ideology, and if your shame or guilt around being sinful or bad or whatever is confusing you, or it's lowering you down, just know that you're perfect the way you are, and that you're human, and that no matter what you've done, you can be forgiven. So detach from this idea that you don't have, or they're not forgiven, and just this idea around your sinfulness or your badness needs to be detached from. Okay? Yeah, your spirit guides really want to talk to you, and they want to really level up your powers and your intuition and all that good stuff. Whoa. Okay. Let me get together. Okay, group number 2. What do you need to detach from? Again, this. Oh wow. Okay, but this inner fire. I'm you need to detach this idea that you don't have inner fire, because guess what? That's you. This passionate, loving, royal, hot and sexy, passionate person. You have this within you. So detach from any ideas that you are not passionate and exciting and fiery and wild and fierce or anything like that. You have strength and fire and power that wants to really come through. So don't let your beliefs limit you. And any idea that you are really sad or miserable, that's literally what it says. This card is reversed and it says miserable. So any ideas around your misery or sadness really need to be detached from. And that really comes from guilt within the heart. So if you have lost people or whatever, dealing with that guilt and learning how to transform your sadness into consciousness, that'll really help you. Of course, we want to feel through all of our emotions and honor our emotions, but this idea that you're either going to always be miserable or the people around you are miserable, and so you inherently are, or your family's usually miserable, or anything around generation or family or friends, and just this misery, this idea of misery, and that's the common state of you and your people or whatever. Really want to detach from that, because you will not be in a state of misery. Even if you are in it now, or you've been in it for a long time or your whole life or anything like that, well, again, just don't define your past as that. Don't define your past as miserable. Don't define your current state as miserable. Definitely don't define your future as miserable. Okay, detach from those ideas. Because happiness and joy and fire and spirituality and a level up really wants to come in. But if you're attached to these ideas of misery, of course they can't. There's not going to be room for them. Okay? All right, pile number 2. What do you need to detach from? Oh, that your dreams won't come true. And that you can't be rejuvenated, and that you don't, like maybe that you don't deserve a vacation or relaxing or something like that. But you will be transformed if you believe in it. And detaching from the ideas that you can't be rejuvenated and renewed and phoenixed really need to be detached from, because all of those energies want to come through for you. Your dreams want to come through for you, but you have to detach from the ideas that they will not come through, and that they're too big or too wild or too weird or too much or anything like that surrounding your dreams. Any negativity around your dreams you have to detach from. And it might seem like a leap of faith or something like that, that seems just wild and whatever, but detaching from those ideas will have them come through. It'll give them the space to come through. Yes, you might have to have patience, but keep believing, keep detaching from negativity, and keep detaching from this idea that how you have been or how you are is how your future is going to be. Okay? All right, how does pile number 2, what do they need to detach from? Oh, that things are going too slow, or that, that you're unstable, or that you don't have authority, or that your ideas are too much, or that your thoughts, or that your words are too much. Like if you're shrinking yourself, or not saying what you need to say, or being authority in your life, or the people around you, detach from the idea that you don't have authority, or spiritual powers, or divine wisdom. You are wise, you are stable, you do have your finances, your future is looking positive for your dreams, for your finances, for your stability, for your authority, for your power, for your intellect, for your ideas. All of these things want to come through, and your future wants to give them to you. The universe wants to give these things to you in your future, but you have to detach from the ideas that you don't have them. Okay? What does this pile need to detach from? And pile number 2, what do you need to detach from? Detach from the idea that you have to juggle your finances, that you have to juggle your money, and that life is juggling, and that you don't know, if you're feeling imbalanced, or that that you have to pick, in life, it's either or kind of thing all the time. Detach from that idea that things are always either or, that you can't have both, and that you can't have it all. Let's try that again. Okay. And also you might want to detach from your ideas around creativity and your powers, and just have faith in the universe that everything can be connected, and you never know how your dreams can be made true so quickly, so simply, by just meeting one person or one opportunity or seeing one thing. You never know how instantly your life could change by one little change in the web of connectivity that we're all in. Okay? So how does this group, how does pile number 2, what do you need to detach from? Again, your web and your creativity and your passion, and that you believe, again, this whole like misery thing of believing in your instability, believing that like life is cold. Believe in warmth, believe in goodness, believe in your dreams, believe in rejuvenation, believe in change. All of these things want to come through from you. So detach from any of the ideas that they don't, or that they will not, that they're not here, and that they're not going to be here for you. Because your enlightenment, your magicalness, your spirituality, your spirit guides, awakening wants to come in from you. All these transformative, intuitive, beautiful energies want to come in. So you might have to let go of some logic. You might have to let go of your past. You might have to detach from, again, your reality. Like, you have to detach from your reality because a new reality wants to come in for you. Okay? Wow. All right. Ashe, amen, hallelujah, because yes, and praise snaps for a new reality. All right. I love you so much. I'm so thankful to deliver this message to you. I'm so thankful that you're here and that we can exchange this energy. I'm so excited for your transformation and the magic that wants to come in for you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for letting me read for you. And I'm going to move on to the next group. So be blessed. I love you. Mwah. Okay. All right. All right, if you picked this clear quartz, this is your reading. Okay, so what you need to detach from is this idea around the fog, maybe the uncertainty in life. Hold on, I got a little bit of a fire going on over here. Okay. If you have any ideas around like the things not being clear, like things not being, like you just not having all the answers. If you have any kind of uncertainty in your life, like mystery in your life is not a bad thing. Not knowing the future, even if you're spiritual and you're psychic, or you're the wise one in the group or something like that, not knowing your future is 100% normal for basically all of us. Even if you are psychic, knowing the future would be really boring, actually, if you just knew everything that was about to happen. There would be no mystery, there would be no magic. So the fog and your ideas around being foggy or being unclear, maybe being kind of confused, those ideas of it being a bad thing, you need to detach from. It's not serving you. The ideas that you don't have authority or that you don't have clarity, that you, again, this whole idea that you need like everything to be crystal clear, or the idea that you don't have the power to have the clarity, these ideas around that need to be detached from. The ideas that you take too much or that you have to give so much to the people around you and stuff, or for your work, that you just need to, that you need to give and give and give. You need to detach from those ideas. You don't take too much in life. You actually need to receive, and then you can give more. But this idea that you need to give so much, you actually need to detach from that idea. You don't need to give so much. This idea that you don't have, maybe sometimes you might wish that you had more wisdom, or that you were more sharp or more witty or something like that, more funny or more whatever. These ideas that you're not at the level that you want to be with like your wisdom or your intellect or your sharpness, your whatever. These ideas that you're not at the level that you want to be at is not serving you. You need to detach from those ideas. If you have any ideas that you aren't a master or that you aren't balanced, you need to detach from those ideas, because you are. And what's throwing you off balance or what's making you not a master is just that idea that you aren't. So detaching from that idea will actually free you and give you all of the masterness and authority in your life and in your work and in your healing and in your powers and stuff that you need. If you have any ideas that your work isn't paying off, or that life is all hard work, or that just like the benefit of hard, or my friend says the results or the reward of hard work is more hard work, this idea is not serving you. Life is not about just hard work, and you don't have to just give and give and give, all work. That's not what your life is supposed to be about, and it's not what your future is going to be filled with. And if you have any ideas that it's not going to pay off as quickly as you would like it's going to take a lifetime before you can retire kind of a thing, it's false. That's false. And that idea isn't serving you. You need to detach from that. If you feel like you always need to choose hard work or choose diligence or choose responsibility over your joy, not always, but if you just are normally I have to be responsible, I have to be diligent, I have to be smart, whatever, this idea isn't serving you. Actually choosing your joy and choosing playfulness and choosing more natural energy instead of relaxed effort actually is what you need to choose. It's not about that you're not going to work, it's just that you don't need hard work, you just need effort. And relaxed effort is actually the best kind. So any ideas around that you have to always choose diligent, you always have to be responsible, you always have to work hard, these ideas aren't serving you, and they're actually not going to give you the results that you want. Any ideas around focus and attention, either that you have to be super attentive or super focused, or that you have to be focused and attentive on things that you think are smart instead of things that you actually want to feel. If you're not focusing on things that bring you joy, and you're not being attentive to the things that bring you joy, but you're being really focused and attentive to work and what your boss wants or what you think is what people in your society or your family think are smart, instead of actually giving the focus and attention on what your heart wants, you need to detach from that kind of focus and that kind of attention and give more focus and attention to the things that bring you joy and pleasure and the things that your heart want. Okay, so if you just be honest with yourself and your whole being, with your lower self, with your heart and your intuition, to see what you should be giving your focus and attention to, not just what your brain thinks and what your family and friends or maybe the pressure or expectations that you have on yourself, because I have a feeling that you have a lot of really high expectations for yourself, but those aren't serving you. And detaching from those expectations, from what your life need to be, and giving your focus and more on joy and pleasure will really help you actually be more productive and get the results that you want. So I'm getting that you maybe need to be a little scandalous, and I mean that's kind of fun. Maybe you have these ideas about being scandalous that's it's really bad. I know the word kind of it does have a bad connotation, but we're human and we have scandals and we have lower moments, or not even lower, just what you would think maybe is lower, and this idea of things being lower or bad because it's a party or because it's too spontaneous or too unbalanced or too indulgent, all these ideas that you're being too much and that you're unbalancing yourself and you're not being wise and responsible and you're not giving your attention and focus to the right things. These ideas of being good and bad and right and wrong isn't serving you. You're human, and even though you are a master and a healer and you're powerful and all these things and you do have wisdom and stuff, doesn't mean that you can't get wisdom and love and happiness and results and the things that you want, even money and status, or there's a lot of good things that could happen. You never know, and that's the thing, is I think you really want to know, or you think you know it all or you think you know what's right for your life, by being responsible and good and strict with yourself, but actually being more open and just not working so hard, not being so heavy about your responsibility and your work, will actually really help you. If you find yourself getting annoyed with people because they're not as responsible as you, this is a sign that you really need to detach from some of your responsibilities and just let go and flow a little bit more. Okay? So don't overwork yourself. Don't overwork out either if you're getting too sore or something like that. Just let your body heal, and let yourself heal by enjoying it and relaxing sometimes, or a little bit more. And just know that if things aren't super clear, that's okay. And detach from any ideas that you need things to be super clear all the time. Okay? Because actually detaching from that idea will give you more clarity in life. Okay? right, what does this group need to detach from? Oh, this idea is around gluttony, that you're being too gluttonous or too indulgent. And that just embracing all parts of yourself, because you may need to detach from the idea that you always have to be your higher self, especially if you are spiritual, you're trying to be a master. Detach from this idea that you always need to be higher, you always need to be your highest. Actually, being your full self is what will make you a more complete, whole, wise being. So detach from this idea that you're being too indulgent or too playful or too much in a party or whatever. Like, enjoy your life. Your life is meant to have a lot of enjoyment. Especially if you work hard, you should be playing just as hard as you're working. And you might think like, whoa, no, I can't do that. I need to play maybe 10 to 20% and then work 80 to 90%. It's actually not balanced. It would serve you better if you thought of life more 50-50, like work as hard as you play. And I can almost like feel the resistance when I say that. So just this idea is that you're eating too much and that you're going to get fat, or you're partying too much and you're going to get to be addicted to things, or that you're playing too much and so you're going to be lazy or something like that. Detach from that, because letting yourself be more whole and complete and playful is really going to give you more of the results that you want in your life. So yeah, this idea is that like you can't be too enthusiastic or you can't be too playful or passionate in life. Like something about you thinking that you can't indulge in passion so much that you need to like put it in a box and you can only be this much passionate for the week, or this much passionate for the day, or this much passionate for the month. Like, let go of that. Like, let yourself be as passionate as you feel necessary in the moment. Because you're actually hindering and pushing down some of the most beautiful life force energy you have, and you will get more tired and more drained, and you're losing enthusiasm, you're losing some love for life because you're not letting yourself just be open with it. You're not going to be out of control, you're not going to get too fat, you're not going to get too addicted, you're not going to get any of these bad ideas if you just let yourself be your full self and accept that you're human and you're a child, you're a teenager, you're adult, whatever. You're all of these things in one. You're not just an adult now. You're not just this responsible workhorse. You're still a playful, happy being that wants to enjoy life, and life isn't just meant to be hard work. Okay? Let's see. What does this group need to detach from? Okay. So this idea that you know your destiny, this idea that you know the results of your life or what it's going to look like, and that you just know the journey or whatever, you need to detach from that, because you don't know your destiny. You don't know your end result. You don't know your purpose in life, really. We're always still finding that out, and there's a lot of mysteries in your life that want to be revealed to you, but if you just think that you already know things, or that you don't like the mystery, you don't like the kind of confusion, or the you don't want to ruin the magic trick. And you want to believe in the magic, and to do that you have to believe in the mystery, and that means that there's going to be lots of unknowns and lots of unanswered, just having a lot of not having the answers. And yeah, also this idea that you need to be, I guess, super detached from everything is actually maybe, and I know this thing is about detachment, but this whole idea that you have to maybe abandon all of the ideas, maybe when you were a little kid you had a lot of dreams, and maybe you just feel I have to let all of those go and just be on this certain path, and that this is right because you're a master, or because you're responsible, or because you have your certain degree in something. This idea that you have to abandon all of the fantasies and the dreams that you have. You don't have to abandon those fantasies. They were put in your heart. Your desires are put in your heart for a reason. So if you're always kind of squishing them down, or setting them aside, or telling them no, or putting them in a box, or only saying you can only have this much passion, you're actually separating yourself And so to be more wholehearted, just know that it's okay to attach from things. So you actually need to detach from detachment. Okay, yeah. It's funny. Okay, what does this group need to detach from? Maybe this idea that you have to really keep your emotions in check. I think you need to detach from this idea that you need to like stay strong, stay responsible, stay wise, that you can't let yourself be seen as like too emotional or too, like you don't want to like maybe like cry in front of people or whatever. This idea is not serving you. So detaching from this idea that you always need to have your emotions just like in order. What do you need to detach from? Whoa. Again, the King of Cups. Okay, yeah. When you think about emotions, like detaching from this idea that you can't maybe be vulnerable or you can't be too emotional in front of people. Okay, detach from this idea that, again, that you have to be like ahead or be more responsible than others. Like if you see people partying or being sloppy or that you have to be like better or faster or just more responsible or more stable and secure. Yeah, like you just always have to have like your ducks in a row and things like that. And that you always need to be victorious. Like it's okay to fail. It really is. And so detaching from this idea that you always have to be wise and you always have to be like even if you are a master, you don't always have to be masterful. Like let yourself, if you have like a part of yourself that's more sly, like the thing is be scandalous. Like actually let yourself maybe be a little sneaky or be a little party or be a little wrong sometimes, and let go of this idea, detach from this idea that you always need to be in the right and you have to do the right move all the time. Like it's okay to make mistakes. All right, I love you so much. Thank you for letting me read for you, and I'm going to move on to the next. Okay. Pile number 4, if you picked the Rose Quartz, this is your reading. Okay, pile number 4, you need to detach from this idea that you aren't the kindest, sweetest, most perfect thing ever, okay? You are lovely and adorable, and you need to detach from any ideas that you aren't. All right? You need to detach that you don't just radiate goodness and peace and joy, because you do. So detach from any idea that you aren't a good friend, you aren't a good family member, or you aren't a good student or anything like that, because you are. You are the best. And you need to detach from any idea that you're not. And I want to just like boop your nose, like boop. You are peaceful and whole, and any ideas that you're broken or that you are chaotic or anything like that, for one, it would be okay if you weren't, or if you are or whatever, but you are whole and you are peaceful and you radiate love and peace to everybody around you. You need to detach from any idea of what's possible or what's plausible, because everything and anything is possible, and opportunities and all sorts of different possibilities want to come in for you, but you need to detach from the ideas of what you think is possible, because what's coming in for you is miracles that are outside of your realm of what you think is possible, okay? You need to detach from the idea that you aren't tranquil or that you aren't timeless. You need to detach from the idea that things are ending, or that maybe like the things in your path are fragile, like, oh, if I make the wrong move, then this won't line up, or this won't work out. The universe, your path, your destiny, and you aren't fragile. So you can't really mess it up. Like, yes, self-sabotage is real, but just doing a little slight thing or whatever isn't going to mess up your path. You aren't fragile. Nothing is fading away. You're not running out of time, anything like that. Things aren't ending. Things aren't on the brink of like destruction or anything. Like, things are good, things are strong, and things are stable. And you're strong and stable and good, okay? You need to detach from this idea that you think like, oh, I'm not being authentic enough. Like if you think, oh, I'm being too fake, or like you get into a group and you think your energy is like not real enough or something, and you're like getting down on yourself or shaming yourself about something like that, like you're being not real, or just this idea like you're being fake or whatever. It's like, no, like you're being true to yourself, and trust yourself, trust your actions, trust your words, because they need to be heard, they need to be seen, they need to be let out, and people need to hear and feel and see you just how you are, okay? Because you're amazing, you're the best. Boop. You need to detach that you have to be super busy, or that you just need to keep waiting, like things aren't going to be happening right away. This idea that you just are going to have to keep waiting for the things that you want in life is not serving you. You need to detach from that idea, because things are coming for you right now, okay? Right now, and you need to believe it, all right? I love you. You need to detach from any old stories. You need to detach from any old family stories. I'm kind of getting an idea that your family really appreciates your energy. It really loves your energy. And maybe just detach from this idea that that you're not the best friend ever and the best family member ever, because you are, and your family really thinks highly of you. Any old stories though about your family, about what you've done in your family, like let them go, because I think they have let it go. So you just need to let it go. And this idea of holding on to your past, or holding on to the ideas of your future, really need to be let go, because your past is not negative like you're thinking it is, and your future isn't going to be negative maybe like you're thinking it is based on your past. So any negativity around your past inherently makes it negativity around your future, and all of that just needs to be detached from, okay? You need to be detached from the old, the past, and this idea that your prayers aren't going to be answered, and that miracles aren't happening, because your prayers are being answered and that miracles are happening like now. You don't have to keep waiting, and just changing your belief system will bring these in like instant, okay? You need to be confident, all right? And detached from your insecurities. And I know that is way easier said than done, but that is the message, okay? Whoa. So we wanna detach from that. All right, what do you need to detach from? Pile number 4, what do you need to detach from? This idea that you have to be super diligent, and that if you're not being super diligent and working or whatever, that you're being like neglecting the things around you. Like you've planted the seeds, and just sitting and being confident in the beautiful person you are is enough. What do you need to detach from? Oh, and any idea about you not being fertile or fruitful in your life, like that your harvest isn't coming, or your seeds aren't growing, the things that you've planted in your life, that they're not growing, is a lie. Like you need to detach from that, because they're growing, they're coming, you're fruitful, you're fertile, and your abundance and prosperity is growing and here to stay. Like you've set the roots, you've planted, you've watered it, and don't think that you're just as like you're not doing enough. This idea that you're not doing enough, you need to detach from, okay? You need to detach to this idea that you're not getting to the place you need to get, like you're not getting to the highest, like you're not at the level you should be at. Also, if you have like a shame around like maybe you being too vulnerable, like maybe you kind of like give TMI, or like you maybe overshare or something like that, you don't. And it really is actually really refreshing to people how open you are. And that if you are open book, or you do let your emotions kind of spill sometimes, just know that your vulnerability is so needed and so strong. And don't let anybody take your kindness or your vulnerability as weakness, because really it's actually the ultimate strength. Your love is your ultimate strength. Your vulnerability, your sweetness, your ability to be just authentically like, if you're sad, or just showing your cards even though that's not what in society people say is like the tough thing to do. That's actually the most strong thing you could do. So letting go of this idea of like weakness, of like vulnerability or your kindness being weakness, detaching from that, because actually you are the best and you're really strong. Okay, detaching from this idea that maybe like you'll be out in the cold for a long time, and that either like I'm getting this idea like you feel like you need to go for people for their advice all the time, and actually like you have all the answers within you. You're really wise, you're really strong, and you're really smart, and you don't need actually anybody else's advice. Like you've got it. You don't need, like it is good if you really do need help from people. I don't want to say that you shouldn't go to help, but if you're doing it a lot, or if you think that your dreams like really have to have a lot of like stronger, wiser people for them to happen, like that's not the case. Like you have the strength, you have the wisdom to make everything in your life come true, and all sorts of possibilities want to come in for you. And if people do collaborate with you, don't think that that's because they're stronger and again wiser or whatever than you. They're coming in because they're on the same level as you, not that you really need their help because you're like below them. So yeah, this idea that life is going to be cold, or the people are cold, or that your vulnerability again is a bad thing or weakness, or that if you give your love that it won't be reciprocated, or that you spilling out your emotions is a bad thing, or that your just belief in love and marriage or anything like that is a bad thing. Detach from those ideas, because love and goodness and your vulnerability and kindness and your strength and wisdom is all just so beautiful. Okay? You're really a stable, strong, smart, wise, loving person. Okay, what do you need to detach from? You need to detach from this idea that you don't have the authority, the intellect, and the ideas that you need for your dreams to come true. That you don't have the ability to bring in the legacy, the financial, that you don't have the ability to bring in the finances that you want in life is just so wrong. You do have it. Okay, you have all of those abilities. Okay, what do you need to detach from? Okay, this idea that you like irritate or annoy people is you need to detach from. You actually are really soothing to people. So detach from any idea that you're like irritating or annoying or fake or anything like that. Also detach from the idea that you're not a boss ass bitch. Okay? You are a boss. You are a leader. You are strong. You are courageous. You are fierce. You are incredible. You are a queen. You have authority, or a king. You are royalty. You are powerful. And I don't want to hear any differently, okay? Because you are the best. Boop. All right? I love you. That is the message I have for you. You're amazing. You're a boss. Don't let anybody tell you differently. Nothing about you is weak. Your love, your peace, your goodness, what you radiate, your kindness is all your strength. All right? I love you so much. Those are the messages. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for letting me read for you. And I hope to see you again, because you're the best. All right? I love you. Boop. All right. Okay. I'm going to move on now. Next group. Okay, if you chose this last pile, this black crystal, either obsidian or black tourmaline, I forget, but yes, this is your reading. What you need to detach from is that you always need to be in the light. Like, people appreciate your darkness, and that you don't always have to be positive. You can detach from the idea that your darkness is bad and that you are bad or you are filthy. Any ideas around that, or like the shame, detaching from that, the guilt, detaching from this idea that like you're bad or within society or within your family or whatever, like you're not bad. And even your badness, your darkness, isn't that. Like, it's just this whole idea about you being like wrong or something, like just being as a person. You need to detach that your desires are wrong. You need to detach that you're shameful and the things that you've done are wrong. Like, the lessons or the mistakes that you've made are lessons that were meant to be in your path and in your life to teach you. And we all make really bad mistakes. We all do things that are bad and shameful or whatever. And it's not bad, because that's what makes us grow. That's what makes us a better person. That's what makes us compassionate. That's what makes us cool. Like, perfect is actually really boring. So anything that you've done that you think like, oh, I'm so shameful, or like I'm perverted for thinking that or doing that or whatever, you really need forgiveness. And you need to know and detach that from this idea that you aren't forgivable. You need to know that you are forgiven and that you are worthy and deserving of love and of goodness, and that you are good and worthy and deserving. You need to detach if you have any ideas, and I say this with love, and I hope that this isn't triggering, but if you have any ideas about your life that you're like a mistake, or that you're an accident, like as a child, as a baby, or that you just aren't making good enough decisions, so you don't have a big purpose or a big destiny, or that you weren't meant to be here, you need to detach from those. And it really, really makes me sad, really, it's really heavy energy, and I feel really sorry. It almost makes me want to cry. But you are here for a reason. You are, and in just you living is enough of a reason. And your energy is needed. The people around you really appreciate you. They really love you, and they're so thankful for you and everything that you've been through, because it helps them learn and grow. It helps them be more compassionate. Just your energy and the things. How you are is so helpful to the people around you. You need to detach from this idea that you need to play it small, like that your bigness or your grand fierceness is wrong or bad, that you need to like put it in a box or like get a handle or be more like restrict yourself for any reason. You need to detach from this idea that you're off or on the wrong course, or that just in any way that your path or you is wrong or off, or just that you're not following the right way in life. Like, everything that you've done and your decisions is right. Your path is exactly where you need to be. Again, the past mistakes, or this idea that your past has all these mistakes, no, like they're lessons and they're learned, and that's what being in humanity is about. And you are so deserving and so purposefully here. You're so right, and you're meant to be here, and everybody knows it, but you. So detach from these ideas. Detach from this idea that, that your path is wrong, that you're not making the right decisions, because all is going according to plan. Detach from this idea that you aren't talented. Detach from this idea that you aren't powerful, that you aren't skilled, that you aren't smart and intelligent and wise and beautiful, because you are. You are talented, powerful, wise, beautiful. You're able. You have the abilities. You have the strength. You have the intellect. Detach from any ideas that you don't. Okay, please. And I know this is easier said than done, but I just, I don't have a lot of time to to help, so much. But I really just want you to know that these are the things that I would love if you worked on, because you are this amazing person. And again, everybody knows it around you. Your family, your friends, the people, your teachers, anything like that. They know how brilliant you are. They know how smart and deserving and worthy you are, and how your energy is so necessary. But you really need that confidence. Just really, the message I'm getting is be open to these ideas. Even if it's really hard for you to accept, just be open to these ideas, that the way that you're thinking about your life and the negativity, it's not serving you, and it's not right. Detach from this idea that you don't have support, and that you don't have spirit guides or a spirit team or your ancestors on your side, and that you don't have protection from the other side, because you do. And you have this protection, you have this spirit team, whether you believe it or not, but you are supported. And believing that would really help you and would really like expedite it, or it would make it grow exponentially. So if you can detach from this idea that, yeah, that you're alone and that you're not supported and that you're not believed in and that you're not loved, would really, I mean, just transform your life. Detach from the idea that golden and good opportunities aren't on the way, because they are. Detach from this idea that your past is a reflection of your future, and detach also from the way that you're describing and defining your past, because there's a lot of goodness, and you have a lot of support, and your future is a lot brighter anyway. But good golden opportunities are coming in for you. So detach from the idea that you aren't supported and that opportunities don't come in for you because it's keeping them away. But also, I'm not trying to shame you into more stuff, but just again, if you can just be a little bit more open and just be a little bit more willing to change your ideas of yourself and your life, so many good, beautiful things are ready for you, and they're here for you. Even if you believe it or not, you are supported, you are loved, and yeah, you do have the spirit team and opportunities here for you. So expect goodness. Please just try to be more open. Try to be more loving to yourself. Self-love will do you an amazing amount of joy and happiness and change in your life. Detach from thinking that just, the bad about your past and your future and any ideas that you're unlucky or unprivileged, because luck and blessings and miracles are coming in for you. Okay? Let's draw you some cards. Okay, what do you need to detach from? Whoa. Needing to detach from despair, that you're not a star. You are a star. You are talented. You are powerful. This idea of your life being full of despair and hostility is really hindering you, because your life isn't full of despair and hostility. It's full of love and support. You just have to change the filter that you're viewing it, and just know that your future is going to be different than the trauma that's happened in your past. What you need to detach from? Pile number 5, what do you need to detach from? Oh, that you're not being authentic, or that that your badness and despair and the hostility is your authentic self. Your sadness, your badness, your all those negativity is not your true self. What do you need to detach from it? That you aren't just really fruitful and intuitive and abundant and prosperous. You are. And everybody sees it, but it feels like. So your intuition is on point. Your abundance is here. You are prosperous, and you can bring in and manifest really well. You are a magician. You just need to believe it. You have to believe in the magic for it to work. Okay? What do you need to detach from? Detach from this idea that you aren't the king of emotions, and that you can't express your emotions. Your emotions are beautiful, and people really love how you express your emotions. They love your darkness. They love your emotional side. Whoa. No. And that they love that you are the way that you are with your watery emotional energy. They love that. They love the way that you swim in the depths, in the darkness, and it's not a bad thing. And you're actually really the king and loving. And a king or queen, you have a royalty, you have an authority over the way that you give love. You are very, very loving, and I just feel like you don't see that. So detach from this idea that you just aren't amazingly emotionally intelligent, and that you aren't loving, and that you don't give emotional fulfillment to people, because you do. You are so loving, and people really are so thankful for you. What do you need to detach from? This idea that you need to be a lone wolf, this idea that you need to be a loner, and that you are just this in the darkness person, and that yeah, again, this whole idea that you're like bad and alone and stuff like that, really need to detach, because you're not alone, and your badness is cool, it's loved, and you're just not bad, you're not wrong. And your cool, mysterious self is so loved. Yeah, just all parts of yourself are loved by people, and that what you create, and like maybe like your dorky self is like need to be hidden or something like that, like you're actually really adorkable. I'm getting, and you're so loved for what you create and what you build, and I just feel this feeling that you don't see the things that you're building right now, and then maybe you think you're not where you're supposed to be or something like that, but what you're building is actually really changing your life, the life around you, and the world. And it might not seem like it, because you're just like, I'm just doing this little stuff, or I'm not affecting that many people, or I'm not influencing that many people, but your energy is going into the earth, it's in the air, it is changing and influencing everybody that comes in contact with it. Just think, like the air is like an ocean that is going in and through everybody. You can't tell how your breath is going to be, like my exhale could be going into so many other people's houses, if this makes sense. So your energy is actually permeating the earth, and it's also, all swirling around. So you never know how your energy is actually like just swirling around in the world. I know this is kind of a weird spiritual concept, but just know that you actually have a big influence, a big effect. What you're building is amazing, and you don't have to do anything alone. You don't have to isolate yourself. You don't have, really, please, if you can detach from any kind of shame, or that your desires or your taboo or your darkness is bad, anything like that, because you're so amazing, you're so loved, you're so supported, you're spiritual, you're powerful, you're talented, and you're not broken, you're whole, you're amazing. And don't define yourself as these things, these bad, negative things, because so much goodness wants to come in, and your life and the people around you would be so just blessed. Like, you're a person that if you believed the goodness in you, you could do so much, and it'd be so benefited from. And I just would want to tell you the right words for you to understand how this could benefit you so much, because I feel like you're that kind of person that really needs to know the benefits of that, because you feel like it's like beneficial for you to be bad and negative on yourself for some reason. So just try to be open to what I'm saying. Be open to that you changing the way you think would really bring in goodness and prosperity. And it's not even like you have to really try, or that you're doing anything wrong. Again, you're not doing anything wrong. You're a beautiful person, and you're just so loved, and I love you. And you're not wrong, you're not bad, you are purposefully here, and just you being yourself, like you don't even have to do anything except just know that self-love would really do you some good, and detaching from self-hatred that would really serve you. Okay, I love you so much. Thank you for sharing your energy with me. And yes, I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.